Thank you, Stephen, for having me today. It's really great to be on this panel. So yeah, as you said, I'm literally about to start work at Google as an associate product manager on Monday. And I most recently worked at Smart. I definitely feel I kind of wouldn't be in this position of being able to start work on Monday if I hadn't had all this mentorship kind of along the way, not only from university, yourself, of course, as well as kind of from managers along the way throughout my career so far, as well as I was on a scheme called Hexagon, which was a UX mentorship scheme for female designers. And kind of all of these experiences together really helped me kind of really have the confidence to even apply for these jobs, to be honest. I also think it's quite important to think about mentorship quite loosely almost, in that I think oftentimes it's thought of as kind of an hour-long lecture, perhaps, where you receive, sorry, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Sorry, my computer isn't funny. I think oftentimes it's thought of quite as a formal, it's almost more instructional than conversational. What I found most useful so far is kind of when it's more just a passing 5-minute conversation with someone in the hallway, perhaps, or just quickly at my desk at work, just finding out, oh, what actually does this particular industry do? Or I never heard of that job title, or even if it's just a 5-minute glance at my CV, I've personally found kind of the most valuable interactions I've had, probably more so than the more formal settings, I guess. But I think kind of the challenges of being in a pandemic right now, of course, is that these, I guess, kind of serendipitous moments can't really happen in the same way as they used to. And I know that if I were, I'm fortunate enough to not be searching for a job right now, but if I was, I would find it very, very difficult because so much of my job hunt was reliant on just kind of meeting people who would introduce me to someone else, to someone else they know. And they would eventually then give you this kind of nugget of advice that would really kind of stick with me. And again, without grad shows, that's even harder. So I know the Dyson School, for example, put on an incredible digital kind of symposium instead of a physical graduate show this year, which was incredible. But again, it doesn't kind of allow for these casual interactions, which I think are so important. So I guess kind of thinking about how that could be tackled now at the moment, in that I've definitely noticed I haven't been speaking to nearly as many people since this pandemic began, because you don't have the opportunity to. I think like kind of letting your network know that you're available for advice giving, because I feel quite lucky that I have in the past had the confidence to ask lecturers. I haven't had any hesitation in saying, oh, would you mind looking at my CV? Would you mind answering this question? And the same at work. But I think a lot of students and fresh graduates are very nervous about doing that for fear that they'll annoy whoever they're asking, or that they're taking up too much time, for example. So I think kind of giving that olive branch of something as simple as an email saying my inbox is open would really make a big difference. And then I think kind of my final thought, which is quite similar to what Michael mentioned earlier, students and graduates entering this such difficult job market at the moment. Of course, companies aren't actually able to hire as much as they previously would have done or would have liked to. I think it's about kind of making sure this time is still used valuably and isn't kind of seen as a waste for students, and kind of keeping spirits up as well. So having things like competitions or even just open project briefs, I think would be incredibly helpful. For example, if right now I needed something to do, I didn't have so much time, I'd love to have a brief, say from Smart Design, even if it wasn't a competition, and be able to say on my LinkedIn or CV or whatever, I completed this project set by Smart Design. Being able to have that link to a well-known company is so valuable for kind of people just beginning in their career. But yeah, I think overall, I think that's kind of my view on mentorship at the moment. I really think it's incredibly important for people just starting out in their careers, as well as I'm hoping as I progress, I will still have great mentorship, which I'm sure I will when I begin, because I think it would be so difficult to progress without it. But yeah, thank you, Stephen.